Hello my babies. Welcome back to another video. I have a special guest here with me today.
Your boy Iron Musket.
And we're gonna be talking about mental health. Something really fun, right?
We're gonna get into the deepest parts of mental health, which you were afraid to ask. All the stuff you were wondering. You want to start YouTube, you want to not start YouTube. This video may convince you of both. So just stay listening.
So we posted on both of our Instagrams and on the YouTube community tab. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, shameless plug, go follow us. And you guys sent us some questions, so we're gonna read them today.
Yep.
Different questions on Iron Musket's channel, so make sure you go check out the video on his channel as well.
So first question, do y'all ever feel inadequate? If so, or if do, I'm gonna just read it as it is. If do, how do you push yourselves? If not, how do you maintain that?
Of course I do. Everyone does, right? You just keep going. That's all you could do.
Yeah, I feel inadequate sometimes, and then other times I feel on top of the world. I can have whatever amount of subscribers, but I'm still gonna have days where I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? Am I reaching people? It doesn't really change. It's kind of like when I was at 3,000 subscribers or 100 subscribers, I was still wanting more and feeling like I had some super bar, and whenever I hit that bar, the bar was raised. And that kind of happens for everybody. The only thing you can do is realize why you started and just keep pushing forward and realize the impact you're making.
Least favorite thing about YouTube?
Ooh. Right here. YouTube has this thing where if you go to the creator studio, which is where you see all the analytics, all the video data, the information, it has this thing where you put up a video and it's this little tiny block. And this little tiny block does a lot of damage to your health mentally. So basically, you can pour your heart and your soul, all of your passion into a video. Then they tell you, this is your least ranked video by far. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's clicking on it after all the work. It doesn't matter how much work you put into it. That is my least favorite.
I like when it tells you, oh, people aren't as interested as usual.
But when you have a banger, that's the best feeling ever. It has the confetti popping. You feel all sorts of dopamine. It's amazing. But then you crave that. Any video that doesn't have that response, you start to feel like I didn't do a good job. That's my least favorite.
My least favorite? I hate to say the but it is definitely the man.
Please define.
You know, like the people that just leave rude for no reason. I don't really want to say that though, because I try not to let them get to me.
But I know what you're saying, but it still does at a certain point.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? I know this is like a separate question, but I notice with a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't care about the comments. I don't let their opinion change me. And then you see the response when they read it, and it's like, it clearly did something to you.
Yeah, I think everyone cares to a point, at least a little bit.
Just a little. You also got a picture of who's behind the keyboard. Like, that's my favorite game. When you have no profile picture, because the people that do the most damage with their words, I notice they have no profile picture, no channel, no subscribers. And that's not a diss on anyone who's just starting out. I'm just saying that's kind of the pattern. When I see that, it just makes me wonder, who am I dealing with?
Yeah, and it's usually people that are just like miserable. Misery loves company. You know what they say.
Oh yeah, the whole crabs in the bucket thing.
Never heard that.
Oh, you haven't heard it?
What's that?
It's, I hope it's real. If it's not real, don't clown me. But it's a phenomenon where there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket in real life. The crabs don't want any of the other crabs to escape the bucket. So if one crab starts climbing over the top, they pull that crab down so they're all on the same level. So it's kind of a different analogy. Is it a lonely lifestyle or more social than you thought?
I think it's hella alone. Always alone, dude. Except for, I don't know if you can see Suki back there.
No, I can't.
That's like the only person I hang out with.
Alleged dog.
She's not a person, because I'm always working, so I can't really be around people if I'm working.
What about through YouTube though?
Well, I met you.
That's what I was gonna have the same response. It's like, you meet people, you have people that message you all the time, but at the same time, you can be alone because you're working long hours, video editing. How
do you maintain a work-life balance since YouTube/social media can take a toll?
Work-life balance? No. There's not really a work-life balance, because it's like, I've never had a day where it's a perfect 50-50. It doesn't work. It's usually an extreme amount of video editing and reading stuff and, oh, let me do some research on this. And then the next day I'll spend a lot of time with family just to rebound. Once I start editing videos, it's very hard to stop. I'm like, I gotta get this out today. I shut everyone out, all the doors are closed, curtains drawn, all the lights off. It's pathetic, it's horrible. But once I publish, it's like, all the curtains are drawn, oh, the light shines in, and then I can hit publish.
I do the same thing.
Do you ever go on walks to de-stress? I do this all the time. Much love, Ben.
Yeah, I go on walks all the time, like every day.
You got the music going, or is it podcast? Or
No, just the sound of nature.
I'm not much of a walker unless I'm with friends. I like to ride my bike when I'm alone, and then I'll listen to music or podcasts. That's the best for mental health for me, at least.
True. How do you stay motivated to make content if no one watches?
It's really hard, and you might be wondering, like, Iron Musket gets a certain amount of views. You have to understand, it goes back to what I said, my least favorite thing about YouTube is when they compare your videos. The hardest thing is wanting to stay with creative experimental content and shuffling that in there versus just going with stuff that you know will blow up. That's harder, but then you realize you reach different audiences, you might have a profound impact, and if you like doing it more, that's the whole reason you started YouTube. You're supposed to enjoy doing it. That's the motivation. The motivation is this video might not blow up, it probably won't, but I still got to put it out there because there's people that are going to learn from it or enjoy or benefit from it.
Damn, that's a really good answer. I feel like you said it all. Like, as long as you're passionate about it, then that's what should really matter. I don't feel like no one is ever watching. Even if you get 20 views, that's still 20 people.
I tell this to everybody who's starting up. If you have 20 subscribers and you feel like you're not doing well, imagine that they are instantaneously transported to your room right now. 20 people is suddenly a lot of people.
Yeah.
20 people show up in my room right now, I'm scared to death. Just realize everything is in perspective. Right. 5 people, 10 people, 20, 30. It doesn't matter as long as you're making progression. All right, next question.
We're good.
I know. Let's go. I don't even know. Again, I don't even know what to high five. Do I high five the FaceTime or the camera? Do you ever feel guilty for not fully indulging in holiday foods? Do you feel left out like that one person?
Shoot. You ain't asking the right girl, because I do indulge. Like, I don't skip out on that shit. Why skip out? It's just one day. You'll be good. Yeah. You'll be good.
But it's easy for a lot of people to be like, okay, it's one day, but this day seems so bad for calories that it just ruined everything. Yeah. And I've done the same thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. But I usually end up saying, it's a holiday. I'll do it anyway.
Do you feel relief when completing a video? He said, heart you too.
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah.
It's heavenly. But it's also a shock to the system. It's like, you get the dopamine and then this little, it's hard to describe, but it's a feeling I get in my chest where it's like it drops and it's like, oh, it's out there type of thing.
I get the relief when I get the comments. That's when I get the rush. It's all my notifications. I'm like,
Has there ever been a time where you get the rush and it's the positive rush and then negative comments?
Ooh.
And then it just kind of counteracts?
Yeah, then it's like, I'm gonna put my phone down and not be on it for the rest of the day. Before I post a video, ironically, about my mental health, I get really nervous usually.
I think it's best when you're talking about mental health to just realize everybody has their problem.
Right.
And there's going to be a lot of armchair psychologists who are going to tell you all these solutions, and it's like, oh, you're talking about all the ones I tried. Okay, I'll try it again.
Right.
What is it? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing, expecting a different result. I was looking up this one medicine for some reason. In the comments, people were like, look, if you guys are all sad and depressed, just stop being sad and depressed. You'll feel better instantly. And I'm like, so this is why people have this mindset with so many other things. Like, just put the food down, man. And it's like, yes, that is the solution. In fact, it is. But you can't just say it and then it's done.
Yeah.
There's something mental going on most of the time.
It's deeper than people realize. Like, people oversimplify things because they don't understand it, because they've never been through it. This is fun. I'm having a great time.
I know. At what point does responding to comments on YouTube become too much?
Probably after an hour.
I was thinking it more like, at what point is your mental state kind of changed enough to where you don't want to respond anymore? So it's like, either your ego is super inflated from a bunch of positive comments, or your ego is super crushed from a bunch of negative comments. Like,
if it's that case, then it's usually, I mean, even just one. It depends on what it says. Some negative comments are like, all right. But some are like, I need to take a step away.
I would say the same, but I also notice when you get a string of positive comments, it can kind of work against you because you start to feel too high and mighty.
Yeah.
And unrealistically high and mighty.
When do you feel like you can tell that it's getting to your head?
When you realize you've been smiling for 30 minutes straight.
Oh,
just
fair.
scrolling on your phone like...
Okay, this is a very heavy one. Are you ready? Okay. If I know my friends are gonna... What do I do if they don't listen to me?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. That is a tough freaking question.
Yeah. Told you.
I'll just say what I would do. If I had a friend that was... Then I would encourage them to seek help, telling them how much they mean to me, how much they mean to the world. There's always a reason to live, and if you don't have any other reason, just do it for your own curiosity. You're curious where you're gonna end up.
I would say try not to take it too much into your own, like try not to feel responsible. I would ask if they actually want their life to be over or if they just don't want the current life that they're living, because there's a difference. Because I've been there, like I've been to the point where I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to exist anymore. And it was more so I was just too stuck in what was going on right in front of me. I wasn't thinking about the future, but there is a future always. Things are always shifting and changing, so remind them of that.
Dang,
and everything's temporary. Yeah, everything's temporary. And exactly what you said, like remind them how much they're loved and cared for. And it's getting cheesy, but you know.
Yeah. Just like Christina said, I wasn't gonna say it, but she said it first, and I agree. I've had those times, especially once the lockdown started. It's like everything started to mesh. And I remember telling you this the other day. I was like, you go outside, you still feel like you're in a box. And it's the strangest feeling ever. You also have to treat yourself like a friend, which is what I've learned. It's easy to be the hardest person on yourself.
Hell yeah. And try to figure out like what's going on, because it could be circumstantial or biological. It could be different.
Sometimes it's unexplainable, Sometimes there's no origin. It's just like, man, why do I feel so down? It's just,
your brain chemistry. Damn.
We could talk about that actually.
We got deep.
Yeah, it got deep. Man, do you feel like you need to take a break every now and then to recharge, so to speak?
Yes. But do I? Rarely. Just because I love to work. It's the Capricorn in me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
it's easy to get sucked into it, but then you start to notice the effects. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. Because otherwise I'm gonna explode.
How to deal with negative comments. We were just talking about this.
First things first, don't delete them. Free speech is amazing. Second of all, because also you get the benefit of one of your supporters replying to the hate comment and possibly having the greatest roast you've ever seen. You don't want to miss out on that. When you actually read the negative comment, it's very easy to see this person as someone that's in high authority, but you also got a picture. Just picture who you're dealing with. Try and envision it, even if it's not accurate. 9 times out of 10, you're right. Just respond accordingly. Sometimes you can convert people. Like, you can have a negative comment where they're hating you. They're like, you suck in every way. I'll never watch your content. And then you're like, oh, well, I'll try to make some changes. They're like, huh, most YouTubers don't respond that way. Interesting, I'll subscribe. I've had that a couple times. How you deal with it?
Oh God, literally like the exact opposite. I do agree with you about freedom of speech and everything. I do delete them because I used to go to other people's comment sections and read the comments, and every single time I'd read a negative one, I felt like afterwards. I'm not kidding. I am that much of an empath that just to see somebody else, I would feel for the person that they said it to. Does that make sense? I don't want people coming to my YouTube channel and being in that kind of mood afterwards. Like, I want people to come to my channel and just be happy and feel good. I just don't like it in I'm like, get that shit out of here. I don't want it in existence. I don't want to read it. I don't want to waste my energy on it. I don't want other people waste their energy on it. I don't know. It depends how bad it is. I agree that I think you can turn some people into subscribers, but some people, I have tried it with some people and it's like there's no hope for them. Yeah.
So this isn't a question on here, but I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
What's the worst comment you've ever received that you're comfortable to read on the air?
I don't think it's, I'd rather say the best. I don't like, I'm not kidding. I don't like to give it any energy at all. Like
no energy.
No
Zero
energy. Yeah.
All right. So when I see a channel, not a corporation like Apple, because they disable comments, but when I see someone's channel and they disable comments, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
It's just strange.
Right.
When you see your views, the person possibly likes or dislikes, unless they also disable those, and no comments, just no interaction, no nothing.
Yeah.
That's just strange to me.
I agree.
So you're more in the line of let's moderate it.
Yeah.
And make sure it's a positive environment.
Yeah,
versus nobody talks.
Right, good energy kind of community. No bad vibes. Look out of here with your bad vibes. How do you stay mentally motivated during a creative block?
So it's easy, even if you have a bunch of video ideas, to not really want to do any of them, because you're like, well, which one should I do first? There's so many options. Which way do I want to do it? And you know what's going to get the most views, you know what's going to not get so many views, but you also have fun. That decision is basically whatever it feels like that day. I don't know what else to say. It's like you either don't post or you post.
I always try to watch people that inspire me when I feel blocked. Usually if I see other people's growth, it's like, they could do it, I could do it. And then I get like re-motivated.
Have you ever filmed a video and decided to scrap it?
So many times, to be honest. You watch it back and then you're just like, It's kind of like what you were saying earlier. Sometimes we're way too hard on ourselves.
But most of the time I won't scrap a whole video. I scrap sections of videos. Most of the time, if I took the slot out of my day to go film something, I'm not gonna just be able to trash it. It's gonna be very hard to do that.
How to start or how to deal with hate.
Haven't we already talked about that?
Yeah, unless if there's anything you want to add.
Yeah, let me add to that. So another good way to deal with hate is to talk to another YouTuber.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, like you. But also Nick.
Yeah.
Especially Nick. Because Nick has the same type of comments I get on most occasions. And so I'll be reading something and he'll finish the comment. Like he'll know exactly what it's gonna say because he gets the exact same sort of feedback. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, bro. You got this, bro. That sort of thing. And it's just, we make a joke out of it.
Laughter is the best medicine. I try to send them good energy and not take it personal too. Because it's like, damn, they're just hurting, man, honestly. So I hope they get better.
It's hard. I hope they get better. I mean,
I do.
It's hard for me to even think about that. Because when I read one, I don't really think of them as having problems in terms of they're projecting. That's usually the second step. So I'll be like, oh man, these people are so critical. They're probably right. But then I have to step back and realize, wait a minute, what did they just say? And I'll look at it and then realize, oh my gosh, they're projecting their hatred so hard of themselves.
Right.
And that's when it clicks and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep going.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Nobody that's confident or, you know, busy in life takes the time to write something like that. So I'm not trying to be mean, but you know. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. We answered different questions on Iron Musket's channel, so make sure you go check out the video on his channel as well. I'll link it below in the comments, in the pinned comment. Comment your thoughts below, give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to join the Swole Squad. Oh, and go check out my Patreon. Shout out to these patrons. And I hope you guys have a good ass day. I'll see you on the next one.